Hello everyone and welcome back to the wonderful world of Freddy and Friends. This is me reenacting the intro for this video. Why is it a reenactment, you might ask? Well, for the first hour and a half of the footage you are about to see, OBS was not set up properly and my microphone was not taking input. So there is absolutely no audio from my microphone for about an hour and a half. Instead of redoing an hour and a half's worth of work, I'm just gonna cut to the bit where I realized that the microphone was not working properly. Oh, for the why did that switch to the default mic? This is why I need to check my audio before I start. I thought it was connected. Well, that is an hour and 40 minutes. Well, I guess I get to catch everybody up now to this stuff, I guess. Yay, fun. Grab these things. Grab you. Okay, so this is gonna be the intro now. Let me walk you through what has happened in the last hour and a half of me doing this. I flattened out this area. The area's been flattened out. I've started building the warehouse. I'll give you a quick tour. This is the back door exit into the security office right here. There's this hallway right next to it. There's these storage rooms. This one is basically going to be all of the Minecraft stuff and like a couple other mod like artifacts. This room is going to be entirely dedicated to storing all of the management wanted stuff. This is and then this is the backpack storage room. And we're doing all the other rooms. What I've been doing is after I build a room, I've been building, or after I finish building a room, I go grab some of the backpacks from the pile. I come back and I sort them all. And then when I'm done sorting them, I put them on the shelf. And then I rinse and repeat. Here's the full build, actually. Here's the exterior of the build. You can get a good look at that really quick. That sucks. Oh yeah, apparently I've been going for, what, like an hour and 40 minutes. I've been recording, and for some reason I never realized that my audio thing was not hooked up properly. Oh yeah, there's also the Withered guys right here, and this whole building is probably going to be with like the Withereds and the scrap enterprise is probably where I'm going to stick them for the time being. Let's start with the outline so I know where I'm building. And we alternate between booths and tables. I'll actually just put down the tables first. Cool. There we go. Okay, now that that room is done, we grab another few backpacks. Yeah, adding in this back door is going to be the biggest help I can ever get. big backpack. That's a lot of... Yeah, I forgot. Most of this redstone is actually going to be going into this building, so this will not be here for long. Okay, that is most of that done. I'm gonna go grab backpacks. I'm gonna grab Withered Chica and Withered Freddy. Or I won't. Do I want to fight a raid? I guess I could fight a raid. Alright, now we battle. There's a arrow in my foot. I almost said there's a foot in my foot. There is, yeah, there's an arrow in my foot. Oh, here they are. There they are. Epic duel of the century. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? He did it! Easy. Freddy went on the table and Chica went right here. Basically in that position. Freddy, you need to just get on a little bit. Like that? Yeah. Now he's kind of just like laying on the table, and then you're sitting here. Beautiful. Okay, now we have 4 of the 7 animatronics. Actually, real quick too, while I'm thinking about it, I'll show you the ceiling. So inside of inside the building, for each room, ceiling is this. There's 2 different sets of lights. There's these regular lights, and then there's the deluxe lights. The deluxe lights are hooked up to either this light switch for the office, or these 5 buttons for 5 other rooms around the building. And then the regular ones are hooked up to daylight sensors that these activate during the day. And then this funky pattern right above, or the reason why this ceiling is 2 blocks tall instead of 1, is so I could fit in this pattern, which is actually just a single block. It's a single block just outline basically of all of these rooms, Now what I'm going to do is take the mapper, because I finally figured out how it works. I'm going to take the mapper and then select everything, and then we'll have a layout of the building to use for maps, or a map of the building to use for the cameras. Pizzaplex build. Ooh. I didn't know I could do that. So it is now a couple days later, actually, from the last bit you saw. In between then and now, I've gone and actually edited that first section of the video, so that's done, which makes this probably the last section, depending on if I want to split this up again or not. I also ended up in that time taking the rest of the backpacks from over there and bringing them in here, sorting them all into here, and then stuffing them up here. I also actually have a couple new ones that I found while I was finishing up sorting. This is the concrete bag, that's why this is in here. And then I also found the Freddy mask, and there's a couple things with, I think it's the Withered and the toys animatronics that I do want to try at some point eventually, so I'm just leaving this here for the time being. Everything's been sorted, and it's now just going to be building for the last part of this video. So yeah, let's get building. I've got 4 more rooms. Where's my schematic? Ooh. So there's 4 more rooms inside. There's this lobby. Well, there's the lobby here. There's the offices room over here. And then there is, yeah, this room, which is processing, where there's a few other animatronics in here. And then the loading bay, which this is the bigger of the few rooms. So I might do this one last still, but I'm not entirely sure. So we're gonna get building, and yeah, we're gonna get building right now. Yeah. So now that the exterior is, or the interior rather, is finished, I also think too that since it's taking kind of long to get here, the video is getting a little long and I don't necessarily want to just add more building to it. So I think what I'm going to do instead is end it here, end the video here, and then at the beginning of next video, start the video with doing the exterior of the building, which isn't, it shouldn't take that long, like it's just the same repeating pattern. And then mainly just getting this redstone in, and then I actually get to set the map up. And yeah, it's probably just start with the exterior, and then I would like to actually get started on planning the pizzeria. I'm not gonna do what I did with this, where I built this first in a test world, and then just schematiced it over, basically. I'm gonna properly plan it out, but I do need like to write all this first. So for the first bit of this episode, or first bit of next episode, is gonna be finishing the exterior of this. Do the exterior of this. And then start actually flattening the area out and get a layout down for the pizzeria. So I'm gonna do that next episode, but I would actually like to give a tour of this building. First room is the lobby. You walk in, you have the lobby, got a couple spots to sit down. You have the front desk, which is actually also missing its chair, which I don't actually think I have. After that, you walk into the offices section, where you've got a bunch of little cubicles and things to kind of just look at, and you have this back area too with a bunch of filing cabinets and lockers. Nothing crazily special. This room, where it was actually labeled as parts and service, is where the animatronics start to appear. The first two, this is processing. So in here is Scrap Trap right next to Scrap Baby, and then there's also the parts and service Chica that I stuck in here. This room is the loading bay. The mold Freddy is actually sitting right here. This boy, look at that face. Sitting right here. There's also another little desk, but this is mainly just to be here, It's more or less just decoration. If I take this vent, I can crawl into the sorting room, where Withered Freddy is just laying down right here on this table, and then Withered Chica is just sat right next to him. Back here, if you actually cut back here, back through processing, you can cut into the break room. Got a couple of booths, party tables, pizza, and there's also vending machines. There's even a gumball machine too. This is the hallway that actually connects the backpack storage room, the office, and the break room together. If we walk up here first to the backpack storage, there's the shelf. This shelf is filled. This shelf is almost filled. This one is technically filled because I can't put stuff here because this is technically where the block is. And then that whole back shelf is also filled right back here. This is storage room 2, which is housing, or basically it's storing all of the management wanted blocks, along with Withered Bonnie and Withered Foxy right here, which I think fit quite perfectly with having Withered Bonnie sit on the table and Withered Foxy sitting on the floor. If you come through this room, there's actually another door right here that also leads into backpack storage. But this is storage room 1, where all of the vanilla stuff is, and then just like a few other mods like create, and then artifacts and relics right here. And then this is the office room that I actually haven't gotten to talk about much, because this is the main thing. I like how this is turned out. So chair's supposed to be right here, but I also don't have a chair for here. You have this monitor right here. We're looking at all the cameras, which this also is not set up right, or set up yet. There's the Nightmare on plush, because I think it's great. There's the Withered Freddy, the Freddy mask, which hopefully I'll get to mess around with that later. I also put in the Bonnie and Foxy plush, because these are supposed to be here in the original build, so I put them up here before I stuck them elsewhere. There's a couple extra filing cabinets. Concrete bag actually got moved over here. There is this vent. Actually, too, there's another thing. All the vents have vent triggers, and I figured out how they work, so they actually do, or how the triggers work, so all the vents do work properly. But this vent is right here. It leads into the office, and I can close it from right here. Next video will be the start of the next video. I'm gonna be finishing up the outside of the building. Actually, well, I'm gonna be starting and finishing. Possibly also doing some extra terraforming outside if it need be. Close the door on my face. Maybe some extra terraforming if I absolutely need to. Definitely down here. I'll also have to light up the these little spaces in between rooms just to make sure nothing spawns in there. So like I could probably just do that off camera because that's a very minuscule. Nobody probably wants to see that happen. There's that. Maybe a little bit of terraforming. Finish up the building and then flatten out this area to start building the pizzeria. So I'm gonna move back over here so I can actually do a proper outro and you can see my face. All right. So hope you guys had a good time watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have an amazing day.